Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Might be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the 121st episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. 'Tis I, Colton Robertson, and you're back for the Bad Batch, bitches. I'm with my favorite, most effective group of friends here. I'm with Joseph George. Thank you much for being here, buddy.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be out. Love this episode.
Glad to be out of your cage.
Yep.
Yeah, let you out for the night.
Mm-hmm. Give me a platform. Speak my mind.
Got to give him his bi-weekly, walk. And by walk, I mean talk.
Yeah, the walk from my bed to my chair.
Yeah.
And then straight back to my bed after I'm done.
Yeah. Hell yeah, buddy. That's how we do it here on the Penny Bloom Podcast. I'm also joined by Miles motherfucking Buttress. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Okay, come back every single week like clockwork. It's nice to be back. Looking forward to
because you're like clockwork.
That is also like clockwork.
Also like clockwork.
Guaranteed.
Well,
once per pod.
The clockwork is whenever he lets him back in. That's the clockwork.
That's the clockwork. That happens every time. But we're here to talk this new episode of The Bad Batch, episode 12, titled Rescue on Ryloth, written by Jennifer Corbett. And I must say, before we really dive into this scene-by-scene breakdown, it's one of my favorites, if not my single favorite episode of the season. You know, you get Harrisindala involved, you get Chopper involved, you know, the Twi'leks on Ryloth, you got Cham, Eleni, Gobi Glee, even if it's brief, you got a lot of Crosshair, Admiral Rampart, and how about fucking Captain Hauser? How do you fucking with Captain Hauser? We're gonna talk about that more too. But you know, Joe, how'd you feel about the episode overall?
Oh, it was just a perfect Friday morning, having the coffee, laying in bed, having the first thing it be. Didn't even get on social media. Just woke up, turned on my TV, went straight to Disney Plus, and it was just a perfect episode for that. You know, I don't know. This one actually drawed my attention like through the entire episode. Sometimes I get on my phone, for some episodes. Sometimes there's some dry moments, but this one, I didn't turn my phone on once. Actually, I stayed watching the whole time.
They really know how to keep you in it here. It's
probably one of my favorite episodes out of this series.
It's one of my favorite episodes of Star Wars TV in general. Just like single episodes, like it's perfectly executed. It did exactly what it was intended to do, and you got all the old characters that we love, and in combination with these new characters that we really have grown to love. Miles, how'd you feel about the episode overall?
Really enjoyed it. Got kind of, of course, the whole Saturday morning, but really Friday morning cartoon. Really like it because it's the perfect thing to watch, to watch during my lunches on Fridays. Sad that I'm gonna be losing out on on Loki every Wednesday. I already joked with my coworker that I was gonna be lost tomorrow during lunch because I wouldn't have anything to watch.
Naturally.
And really enjoyed this episode. It gave us keeps coming back with good story every single week, but this one also gave us some little tidbits into the wider universe that like with answers about questions about like Hauser and that stuff that bring us a lot of information that we don't have from anywhere else,
and presents us with a lot of questions too. It's like exactly what's going on here. How about we jump into a scene by scene breakdown of this rescue on Ryloth? Ready?
Let's do it.
All right, so we open. We got Vice Admiral Rampart and Captain Hauser walking through this detention block of the Capitol, and they reach this cell holding Cham, Eleni, and Gobi Glee, and Rampart mocks Cham, saying he was once considered, the liberator of Ryloth, and now he's the traitor of Ryloth because he's, quote, attempted to assassinate Senator Orrin Freetaw. And we all know that to be bullshit. But obviously the people at large do not know this to be bullshit. Cham retorts that the people won't believe the Empire's lies, and Rampart believes they'll turn against him easily, and he appeals to Eleni. He says that it's dangerous out there, and if they tell him where Hera is, he can ensure her safe return home. And Eleni retorts that she's seen how Rampart treats his allies. She'd rather be his enemy. And I was like, fuck
bad ass.
Fuck
See where Hera gets
yeah.
it from, bro.
Yes, you do. You do for sure. Horrified for when we have to say goodbye to Eleni. Thank fucking God it wasn't this week.
Thinking about her, and I think we mentioned it last week, but I was talking. I think you know exactly where I'm going with this. I was talking to my coworker about it because he hadn't watched these past 2 episodes, and he had just started watching Rebels a little bit, so he's a couple episodes into Rebels or something like that. And I was trying to explain to him, it gives the fact that you've watched a couple episodes will give you some backstory on Hera. And it was like Hera, and I said the pilot, and he goes, "Oh, you mean the hot one?" And I said, "The hot one." And I said, "And you'll be happy to know, being a MILF runs in the family."
2 weeks in a row we got that line.
Yeah.
But then, we see Rampart leave, and Hauser looks at the Syndulas, and he's like, fuck. I'm a little conflicted. But at this time in the episode, I'm not thinking, you're a little conflicted. I'm thinking, this man just doesn't know what to think. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just blank mind. Like, what do I do? But clearly he's got more going on up there than lets on. But Rampart orders Hauser to scour the planet and arrest all of Cham Syndulla's supporters. And Hauser's like, oh, so this is actually some fuck shit. We can't do that. They have not committed crimes, sir. Rampart says they are a menace, and having attacked their transport and shot Senator Ta, you should know that. And Hauser's like, I was there, bruh. I ain't think that's exactly how it happened. I know Cham ain't shoot him. I know ain't none of his insurgents shot him. And Rampart's like, well, then who shot him then? And Hauser's like, well, shit. That part I actually don't know. Like, I could assume it's you, but I don't fucking know, Like, just wasn't let in on that part of the plan. Rampart tells him, carry out your orders. And Hauser promises to locate Hera himself. Rampart's like, nah, I'm not that fucking dumb, bruh. I'm gonna put Crosshair and his squad on that shit, and she'll be found. And they return to the building, but nearby we see our little boy, that little dude, Chopper, rolling around. He's like, womp 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 womp. He's got that shit. He's on it. He's Chopper. He's Chopper of old.
Okay, so it's voiced by Dave Filoni, but what does he really say? Because it's obviously probably.
Oh, you didn't hear him?
No, it's just straight audio file.
Yeah, no, it's straight audio file. It's him just saying, "I want blood. Give me more blood." Yeah, he's just trying to add to his kill count.
I've actually read that they do this for Chewbacca too, and all these other
Chopper have the highest kill count?
Second.
We already talked about this. Yeah.
Okay, Palpatine has the highest by far.
Yeah.
But not non-Palpatine.
Luke.
Well, see,
yeah, the Death Star.
Because Palpatine, it's all about it's
multiple
like direct / kind of indirect. I don't know if you credit Palpatine with Death Star kills. I don't think you count the kills from orders and stuff like that.
Who do you count?
No, you count like the person who pressed the button. Because Chopper.
Who do you count?
Who killed the Death Star?
I'll tell you that.
But Chopper's indirect kills are from him shooting down a
question for you.
Transport.
Who do you count Hiroshima and Nagasaki for? Who's responsible? Who is it? You know who it is. It's either one or two answers. It's either the USA or it's Truman. You say those two answers.
No. The dude, Billy Joe, the dude in the back of the bomber who pulled the lever, he's credited with with however many.
It's
This
either
is a disaster.
you credit Palpatine. You credit Palpatine with the Death Star kills. Like,
Nah.
you just credit the man, whoever's in charge at the time, and that's just who it happened to be.
I mean, credit might not be the right word.
It's true. Well, we're not saying as a good thing.
Nah, as a good thing. Who gets props for these kills?
But I've actually read, I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. I've read that with Chopper's lines and like Chewbacca's lines and all these characters that don't actually speak English, in the script, they have lines in English so that the other actors, obviously know what they're saying.
They're not just like, why am I responding like this to this?
Yeah. And so I get that Chopper generally is whatever he is actually saying.
You think they just put like a voice filter on that file?
I think Dave Filoni probably just makes some random fucking noises to the tone he would say a phrase. Like there's an episode in Rebels with Lando, right? And he's playing Sabacc with Zeb, and Zeb goes, "I'll bet my droid," and Chopper goes, "Wah, wah, wah." And it's generally like he said, "What the fuck?"
I got okay. I got you. Yeah.
Like it's generally that's generally the vibe.
And they would have to have like the English lines that they're saying because it's kind of roughly understood that most people just understand droid because like Chopper will do the like wah, 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 wah. And Hera's like, "Good point, Chopper. Let's do that." And you're like, "Hold on a minute."
But then, like...
Those weren't words.
But, like, I don't know. I think Hera and Ezra are the only two who can understand Chopper in that crew.
Yeah, Kanan doesn't understand Chopper, and
true.
Zeb doesn't understand Chopper.
Yeah, like...
I don't think Sabine does.
I don't know. Honestly, like, I think the majority of people don't understand
Whenever
droid.
I said everyone, I meant, like, the people, like, a lot of people who are talking to droids...
Oh, okay.
Are then like understand that these droids are saying stuff in English. Meanwhile, there's the other people who at least know, like kind of like us listening to someone speak a foreign language. We're like, I know you're saying words, I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
but at least it's not just wah, 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 wah. It's not fucking like Charlie Brown teacher.
Yeah, true. Like it'd be like they'd be just making noises.
Yeah,
like that's words.
Yeah.
But, after this, we're in the mountains above, the Syndulla residence, and Hera's telling Chopper to hang on and uses her macro binoculars to observe some stormtroopers and elite squad troopers searching their home. And the troopers report to Crosshair that there is no sign of Hera, and she may have fled the planet. And Crosshair says that she wouldn't have left without her fucking parents, She's family gal at heart, And just a young child, so probably wouldn't leave without the family. It's probably a good bet. But yeah, he orders them to keep looking, and Hera contacts Chopper again, saying that there's a new plan. Meet her at the base to send out a transmission. And on the Marauder, with the Bad Batch, Omega attempts to fix Gonki's little power source. It's not charging fully, and Hunter tells her, it can't be fixed. That's a defective unit. And this tech calls Hunter up to the cockpit. Omega reassures the droid, don't worry, we were all defective too. I was like, aw, that was cute as hell.
It was a moment like
they really lobbed it up for her, but they knocked it out of the park.
Just makes sense. They have a defective droid too.
It does.
Like, come on, like
I mean,
we're probably gonna have their ship's defective in some way. It's like the only one. Out of all of them.
You think good droids are going to deal with their bullshit? You think R2-D2's putting up with them?
Gong.
Aren't those just trash cans? Is that what they are?
No, they don't function as trash cans, but
I thought that's what they. I thought that's what they are. I thought they were literally just mobile trash cans.
That'd be kind of epic.
I mean,
if they were just
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are.
No,
mobile
I think
trash
that
can
is
droids.
their purpose.
I sincerely hope that's not his purpose.
A Gonk droid. Let's see. Oh, it's just It's for power. It's mobile power.
It's a power source.
Okay, never mind. Sorry to all the Gronks for calling them garbage.
Talk about a bleak
Sorry,
existence.
Rob.
Yeah.
But Tech tells Hunter here that they're receiving a recorded transmission from an unrecognized frequency, and a hologram of Hera shows up, and she's telling Omega her parents have been captured by the Empire, and she needs their help quickly, and she's going to send the coordinates. And Hunter asks Omega, "Yo, did you
What
get
the
something
fuck?
on our channel? Did you really do that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I said it was for emergencies, and that sounds pretty fucking urgent, doesn't it?" And Tech's like, "Well, you know, children often overreact." And I love Tech, and he's all about the logic, so this comment makes sense. But, like, I won't stand for this slander in front of Omega. She continuously makes the right choice.
Yeah, but the dude's just all about statistics, man, the majority of the time. Omega's not a majority of people, or
That's
like
right.
a majority of people. She's special.
I mean,
That's
listen, think about this. How many times have you called, the police because, some minor thing happened?
I've
All the
actually
time.
called the police 0 times in my life.
I would hope so.
I've also called.
But
the
there is,
police
like,
many times in my life.
to like, I'm making the joke, but, like, to his credit, there are all the videos where it's like, where you get, like, the clips of, like, the kid that calls 911 and they're like, "Oh, what's your emergency?" It's like, "I need help on my math homework."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, this isn't quite the number for that, but what's the problem?
Yeah, well, keep dialing, kid. You're not very good with the numbers. But, Hunter asks Omega, why'd you do that? Oh, wait, no. Tech, he's like, children overreact. Okay, maybe it's not that big a deal. And Omega's like, what the fuck? No, that's not what we do. She's in trouble. And Hunter's like, it's a big galaxy. We can't help everyone who needs it. And Omega's like, why not? Isn't that what soldiers do? And Hunter, like, the way they lingered on his face here and made him look all thoughtful, I was like, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, he gets hit with he's like, all right, fuck it. You got me there.
Yep.
Fair point.
And
I know I'm supposed to help people. Fuck.
You're really the boss, anyways.
Also, she really hit him, not just with
Omega's the boss.
Isn't that what soldiers are supposed to do? She really hit him with why the fuck not?
Yeah, she really hit him with oh, you won't do it? Pussy?
Huh? You won't do it? Remember what happened last time you didn't do what I wanted to do? And you left me behind, bitch?
Everyone almost died? But Marauder drops out of hyperspace over Ryloth and heads into a canyon area onto a landing platform at Chancellor's command outpost. And if you've watched, after watching this episode, I went back and watched some Ryloth episodes of Clone Wars, and you see this base of operations in Clone Wars where Cham is working out of as like the liberator of Ryloth working with Jedi. Like I love me some continuity,
It's crazy.
It's my favorite. But, Clone Force 99 disembarks and are greeted by Chopper and Hera, who have been hiding there. And Hunter asks Hera why the Empire is after her. She tells him that they're arresting anyone loyal to her father. Hunter looks unconvinced, and Hera offers to pay them, to free her parents. Hunter agrees to see what they're up against, but again offers no guarantees. And from the mountains, Hera and the Bad Batch observe the city as Rampart addresses the citizens of Ryloth. Tells them that those responsible for the attack against Orn Free Taa have been arrested. That Orn Free Taa will make a full recovery. And meanwhile, Omega sees Crosshair in the city and informs the others of the situation. They all step back to discuss, and Wrecker wants to fly in and blow their way out. He says, fuck it, in classic Wrecker fashion. But Echo says the scanners will pick up their ship, and the number of troops is similar to that on Raxus, which is like, this is a military occupation. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, so we ain't got shit to worry about then. Like, biggest concern is Crosshair. Y'all dealt with Raxus like nothing. Come on, bro. You can't set this up like it was going to be difficult and then compare it to Raxus.
Yeah, remember how much we struggled with Raxus whenever we were concerned for all of 3 seconds about making it out and then immediately found a solution by hopping in a fucking tank? That was so difficult.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. But a probe droid hovers above, and Hunter, with his hearing, his enhanced hearing and hunting abilities, he's like, oh, I hear that shit. Hold up, guys. He climbs very fast and jumps from above this droid, taking it out. And
I just made the connection.
What?
His name.
Yeah, Hunter.
I'm so mad at myself. Like I'm.
Did you think that like everyone had a name? Did you think that like everyone had a name comparable to their fucking like abilities, and then like he was just Hunter?
Yeah, I thought it was just like white guy Hunter. Like
Yeah, white guy named Hunter.
That's just what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, Joseph.
That's amazing. But he takes out this fucking probe droid nice and easy.
This scene right here really, like, I've never really thought about it a whole lot before, but I fucking hate the recon droids. They're just the fucking worst.
Oh, they're the most annoying pieces of shit out there. And, like, because they don't, like, they spell trouble, like, you know, like, they can fire at you, like, a little bit, but they can't do a ton of damage. They know that these droids are going to get taken out, but it doesn't matter. We know you're here because that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're just so fucking annoying. They also look awful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the other ones are so cool. I also, part of it is because of, like, Fallen Order. Fucking hated those things in Fallen Order. They were so fucking annoying to deal with.
They were so annoying. But I have like a... I mean, obviously they're annoying as shit and stuff, but I have a little bit of like that soft spot for the design of them because of them coming from Empire Strikes Back and being like an original prop that was built. That's pretty dope. I appreciate that aspect of it. Although it is like an ugly looking droid comparative to the other droids.
I'd have one as a soda fountain. Like its legs has like a different soda.
Yeah, like a little fountain.
Be pretty tough. That's pretty good. I could sell that on Etsy.
You absolutely could sell that shit. That's an outstanding idea. But you know, they're like, well, shit. They know we're here. Crosshair, the Empire, they all know. But and immediately we're informed. They do know. They show Crosshair a little data pad. Yep, they're here. Back at the base, Hunter tells Hera, you know, they can't help her. The element of surprise is gone. The Empire will be expecting an attack. They've increased security, so sorry. And Hera's like, I'll pay you double of the offer I haven't made. And Hunter bluntly responds that credits mean nothing if they die. And he's like, I'll take you off world, but, you know, rescuing your parents, it's just not going to fucking happen. It's just not worth the risk. Hera's like, not to you. She walks off, followed by Chopper, and then Omega's just angry as fuck. She tells Hunter, you know, you shouldn't have said that. Hunter tells Omega that being strategic means knowing your limitations, and she replies that Hera is trying to protect her family. I would do the same for you. And I was like, damn. I'm not gonna lie, that cut deep, mostly because it was like the first time she like, not like first time, but she directly referred to them as like family.
Mm-hmm.
And like meant it like, you were truly my brother.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Wow.
I love that shit. But
she's freaking cute, man.
She is cute. I love me some Omega. But, you know, in the city, Rampart tells Hauser that arresting some of Chan's supporters is not good enough. He wants them all. Hauser is concerned that arresting innocent citizens will provoke an uprising, you know, as is the usual case, but they turned over all their weapons, if you remember last episode. And Rampart says that, you know, they should be arrested, and peace has a cost. As they enter the Vice Admiral's office, Crosshair is waiting for them. He's like, yo, Bad Batch is here, bitch. And Rampart's like, okay, have a battalion of troopers go after them. And Crosshair's like, that ain't enough. I know what they can do. And Rampart's like, okay, what's your squad capable of? If they can't capture a little girl, I'm assigned someone who can.
Mm.
And Crosshair, like, he turns around, looks at Hauser, and is like, Just thought that was like a weird little moment between Crosshair and Hauser, which we will be seeing them together again.
Mm.
We'll be seeing a Hauser trying to convince Crosshair, yo, what are you doing here, bro?
Killing your brothers, bro?
Killing your brothers, bro? You just gonna kill your brothers, bro? Bro.
Bro.
Bro. Give me a hug, bro. That's all this comes down to, bro. You just need a hug, bro.
Come on, man. Peace, love, and bro.
Bro.
Wow.
But you know,
I hope it goes exactly like that.
Oh, wouldn't that be epic if like we predicted it line for line in the dialogue? I mean, I could see it. I could see it. And then immediately after, Crosshair's gonna like, he's already got the shaved head. They're just gonna like put a little incision in his head, and he's just gonna reach in and take out the inhibitor chip and be like, "I knew where it was the whole time, bro." That's that.
He's just gonna take a bite out of his head. Just bite it out. Now you're the Apple logo.
But Chopper speaks to an upset Hera. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Hera's like, hey, I don't want to lecture. Hunter gave up, not me. And I was like, damn, what was Chopper saying? He was talking a whole lot of shit. He was like, hey, quit being a pussy. Get up. You gonna stop now?
Dude, Chopper's a real one, man. He's an OG.
Pretty much like that. I love me some Chopper, man. He's
Go.
Top two favorite droid for me.
Maybe top one.
I can't betray my dude R2 like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I could. I could maybe.
Well, you know what? Chopper has the bloodlust that R2 never had.
R2's kill count is probably pretty high, though.
R2's kill count's pretty high, but is it Chopper high though? Because a lot of R2's kills were droids, and
R2's taken out destroyers. Before,
yeah, but he's taken out destroyers with droids on them. He hasn't taken out people destroyers.
Well, that's a whole different era, bro. You can't. That's kind of incomparable.
That's a fair point. R2, if he was in Chopper's place, would have.
It's like, you know how many droids Anakin has killed? Like, you take the number of droids Anakin has killed, dude. He's number one, probably, in kill count. If you add him and Vader together, if you add him as a human, he's probably number one.
Probably. It's likely in general, but you know, Omega walks over to Hera, tells her, Hunter means well, and Hera's like, "Why do you trust him so much?" Omega's like, "He's my brother." So are the rest of the squad, and Hera looks at her and says, "You're lucky." And I don't know if you remember the part in Rebels where Thrawn examines a piece of Twi'lek art and insinuates that Hera had a little brother who died before this.
Mm-hmm.
But holy fucking shit, is that a sad little callback there, huh?
Do not remember that.
Yeah. She says, "You're lucky." And then I was like, immediately when she said that and like looked down all sad, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot she had a brother who died.
Yeah, that's a little dark. I did not remember that part.
That was rough, bro.
You just made me re-remember it.
Yeah.
I forgot. I remembered it during the episode. I had your reaction during the episode. I forgot it until this point. Now I'm having the same reaction again. Like, damn.
Dude. And you know what I just need to do? I just need to rewatch Rebels. That's the bottom line. That show's that's too damn good.
It's a great show.
Right now. It's a must, frankly. Maybe a Rebels rewatch in the cards for the game. I don't know, but she tells Hera that Hunter will come around, and if they can come up with a strategy, it'll be all right. Hera knows Ryloth better than any of them, so she ought to help out. Hauser visits Cham and Eleni in the detention block, and Cham says they see what side he's chosen. Hauser says that they attacked an Imperial convoy, so not really my business, bro. I'm fighting for my team at the moment. Eleni says that they were only protecting Hera, and Hauser looks around, just kind of like, all right. I'm gonna tell you what I'm trying to do. He begs them to give up Hera's location so he can protect her, and they don't believe him. Cham says that he won't make the mistake of trusting Hauser again. However, I don't think we had to worry about an inhibitor chip thing here, obviously. Like, he wants to protect Hera. That's That is what he is trying to do. He's like, they've got you, and there's not much I can do about that at this point. But I can help Hera. That's still something in the cards for me. And here, so what's the deal with the inhibitor chip? Is it what I was talking about a week or two ago about how it's only effective for so long and it begins to wear? Like, and that's why they need War Mantle, because clones won't remain loyal to the Empire. That's just something they're bound to break faith with. Or, I gotta think that's the case. Otherwise, why would they not want more clones?
It honestly, what I've kind of think it might be is more of like, because like the base functions of the clones was to be loyal to the Republic, and what the Empire's now doing, they're starting to see like cracks in like, hold on a minute, this isn't what I'm loyal to.
Republic.
Yeah, this isn't the Republic, and I think that's part of it. And the only time that gets overwritten is whenever they either like reprogram it, like they did with Crosshair, or whenever it like they know someone like went against Order 66, like Wrecker did, because he knows that they let little Jedi boy Kanan Jarrus run free. And so that's why he, flips out, is because he's still under the impression that they're traitors to Order 66. But outside of that, I feel like we're going to see a lot of like clones being like, hold on a minute, this isn't right.
I look forward to that. If we can get like ourselves a little clone uprising against the Empire, that'd be super fucking cool.
I mean, it is just an order at the end of the day. It's just like, it doesn't like. Palpatine just gave it as like an order, and the inhibitor chip just inhibited their thinking
from the order.
Yes, that was the only thing. So like, it's not like a permanent like. As a clone, you will now hunt every Jedi. You basically are an Inquisitor. I don't think it's that. It was just like, I'm giving this order. The thing in your head makes you listen to me, and that's it. I don't think it's like a permanent switch, that just like allows Palpatine to mass control all of them. So I think, just fade.
If they do what they've done to Crosshair, that's the kind of thing we're dealing with.
I just think it's like whatever they had to do during Order 66, if they've completed it, then they're just like a clone. They just live, as a retired. They do whatever, if they've completed what they had to do, like if they killed their Jedi or they killed, whoever they had to, then like they just went on living normally.
Okay.
Join the Empire. Most of them.
That's my thing, is that it seems like as soon as the chip went off, it seemed like it also ingrained in them a loyalty to the Empire. Like, that's the way they painted it through the first couple episodes of this season. They were all about the chain codes and about the Empire, their glorious Empire, and following their commands to a T.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like it ingrained like a loyalty to like the idea of like, we're just reorganizing the Republic.
Wait.
But then once they see things that go against what the Republic was, they're like, hold on a minute.
They had that meeting. That is what installed their Empire like propaganda, was when Palpatine talked to them directly. Is whenever they were like, oh, Empire, yeah. Remember? Yeah. So they did all their shit. They killed whoever they needed to do. They got back to their barracks, and they're like, hey, mandatory meeting. We have to go. And then that is when everyone was like, oh, we're for the Empire now. But then the Bad Batch was like, you guys are okay with this? Like, they were looking to
insinuate it was the inhibitor chips doing.
Yeah, so like, not from Execute Order 66 where they turned to pro-Empire. It was just they were listening to Palpatine. But when Palpatine spoke to them at that meeting, that is, since the inhibitor chip was still in them, it was making them listen to Palpatine and take everything he says for truth. So like that's when they went pro-Empire. I mean,
it would also make sense that the inhibitor chip, like, that's the point of an inhibitor chip. Like, obviously, like, they wanted to execute Order 66, but I don't imagine that is the only function of the inhibitor chip, as we have seen with Crosshair. Like, I think potentially the intention with inhibitor chips is that, you turn that on. Palpatine was probably program that thing for them to listen to anything he says to them directly.
Mm-hmm.
That would make a lot of sense to me. But shall we move on with this scene by scene breakdown? We'll get more of that clone uprising later.
We shall.
We get to Syndola's base where Hera and Omega outline the plan. One squad will attack the Imperial refinery on the outskirts of the city, drawing reinforcements away, while the other team will rescue the parents. And Echo asks about the defenses at the refinery, and Hera tells them, there are 5 unmanned perimeter cannons, which can be disabled by Chopper at the command console. And Hunter agrees, telling Hera, he'll go with Omega to back up Chopper while he disables the cannons, and Tech and Wrecker will attack the refinery while him and Echo scale the Capitol wall and rescue Sham, Eleni, and Gobi. And Hunter decides, we're going to follow your lead, talking to Hera, which I was like, fuck yeah. And then this is the real moment we were talking about last week about how important the Bad Batch is to Hera and Kanan's origin. Them willing to follow Hera's order when Hera goes on to become a general of the rebellion, giving orders to everyone. That's a nice little preparation for her life ahead. I appreciate this formation that they've got going on.
I love all these younger versions of characters.
I'm hoping we eventually make it to the Lasats. I gotta see a young Garazeb. Some young Callus in the Imperial Army. I know I mentioned that last week too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that'd be nice. I think it'd just be fun. But later that night, Hera and Omega wait in position as several Twi'lek workers and astromech droids, including Chopper, disembark from the transport at the refinery, and Chopper mingles along with the astromech droids, but breaks away to reach the command console. I like the way that he sneaks through this whole thing. We get our nice little Chopper solo mission here. It's all about Chopper for a minute here. I loved it. He electrocutes a little Imperial astromech and tries to access the network terminal. However, he finds he cannot access the cannons, so he is then cornered by 2 clone troopers. Harris says that they need to help Chopper while peering through the binoculars, and Omega says that they will have to. But first, they'll have to take the console offline. And when Hera asks how they are going to do that, Omega points to one of the parked ships out there and reminds Hera, yeah, you want her to be a pilot, right? Let's go. Let's get this shit. And another prediction we just knocked out of the fucking park. It was, they flew, and Omega was gunner. Hera was driving the shit, and we're having a dandy time blowing up an Imperial refinery. But Hunter and Echo scale the Capitol wall, knock out a clone trooper sentry, and back at the Imperial refinery, Omega and Hera infiltrate a parked shuttle. Tech asks Omega if Chopper has disabled the cannons, and Omega replies that she and Hera are working on it. And he's like, just don't shoot down our shuttle. And he's like, excuse me, the fuck? And Hera fires up the engines. Yes, we do. Hera fires up the engines in the shuttle, but she struggles to have a takeoff here. Because she hasn't learned takeoffs or landings. We learned that last week. Sorry, distracted. But she gets up there. She starts zooming around this place. She manages to fly the shuttle near Chopper, who takes the opportunity to stun his 2 clone trooper captors, and Hera uses the shuttle to take out the command console, which explodes and triggers a wave of explosions. Chopper fires up his thrusters and boards the new class attack shuttle, and the trio fly away. Tech inquires about the multiple explosions at the refinery, and Omega confirms it was them and tells him that the weapons are down. The Marauder zooms in, and Tech's like, aight, Techio drift time, baby. He just goes in here. He zooms in, does the little drift shit. They start firing down at the base. It's pretty epic here.
Dude, that was dope. That drift. I had a verbal reaction to during watching. I was like, oh my, yeah, it was.
Well, what's
sick.
Funny is that they show the difference in the way Hera and Tech fly, and it's obvious that Tech's going off calculations. He's not going off of a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows he has to descend at a certain mile per hour, pull up at a certain rate, and that's how they're going to fire this place. Like, that's how he's flying. And Hera's just, you know, the controls plot your course, but you do your thing up there. You know, she's just doing her thing, and I love that. But they really go in on this place, and the clone trooper commander calls for some reinforcements. So
I thought you were talking. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the fan noise originally.
It was a similar noise, but I think
gotcha.
It's kind of, yeah. But however, Captain Hauser informs Rampart that the refinery is under attack, and he offers to deal with it. But Rampart insists on handling the attack and orders Hauser to guard the capital. Meanwhile, Hunter and Echo stun the sentries guarding the Syndulla cell and free Chamalani and Gobi. And Gobi is surprised to see the Bad Batch. He's like, I don't know who the fuck these guys are. Mercenaries, I'm guessing. Who the fuck hired you? And they're like, Hera. And Cham and Eleni are like, what the fuck? Hera's hiring mercenaries? What the hell is this? But Cham immediately is like, is Hera safe? I appreciate that being the first question, not how did Hera contact mercenaries. But, you know,
I feel like deep down they have to be so fucking proud of her.
Oh, they are. You know they are. That's just how.
Following in Mama and Papa's footsteps, hiring mercenaries to take down the enemy.
Just a little rebel, but you know, Hera's flying around that shuttle, just like zooming all over the place, and she's like, "Hey, I think I'm getting the hang of this." And Tech's like, "Yeah, your dangerous and uncontrolled maneuvering is confusing to both of them and us." So Tech's just flying around trying to avoid her at this point, and back at the Capitol, Crosshair accompanies several clone troopers and elite squad heading towards the refinery. And Crosshair's like, hold the fuck up. I don't see how that could possibly be their target. and the elite squad's like, well, they're attacking it, so we ought to get on over there. And Crosshair looks back at the Capitol building. He's like, I'm not going to go with you. I'll hang out here. And Hauser watches Crosshair from the balcony before walking back inside. And I'm like, okay, the wheels are really turning here for Hauser. He's kind of fucking done. And meanwhile, Hunter and Echo escort the Twi'leks through the prison corridors, and Crosshair's troops form position outside of one of the Capitol's doorways. And Crosshair takes position up on a balcony where I gotta guess he was ready to snipe a motherfucker. Like, obviously, the others were like gonna detain them, but
the door was going to open and he was just going to bink. He was just going.
He was going to go, but as Hunter, Echo, Cham, and Eleni and the other Twi'lek resistance fighters, they get towards the doorway, and Hauser's like, hey, hold up. Yeah, y'all walking towards a trap. There's a squad waiting right on the other side of that door. Y'all got to find another way out. And Gobi is like, I don't really know if I'm with that, bruh. I don't believe you. I don't know why I should. And Hauser's like, hey, I'm on your side. The Empire is doing some fuck shit. So, ain't nothing for you to worry about. I'm with you. What I am interested in is the fact that Hunter and Echo didn't say shit about, like, they didn't, like, look at him and go, what's different about you? You know, like, they've gotten their inhibitor chips removed. They know this guy's supposed to have an inhibitor chip. Why aren't they more bewildered by this guy standing up to the Empire? Is like my priority question. But I guess, you know, they're busy. They got shit to do. You know, get the fuck on with your day and such. But he tells them, you know, they've got to get out of here, but the exits are blocked. And Eleni proposes using Senator Ta's shuttle and his private tower hangar. And Hauser apologizes for not stopping the Empire's actions earlier, and Cham puts his hand on his shoulder and reassures him that their fight for Ryloth is not over. He vows to return. Eleni invites Hauser along since the Empire will know he was defected. And Hauser is unwilling to abandon his squad, says he will try to get through to them. He tells the free Ryloth fighters, Hunter and Echo, to leave while there is still time. The insurgents and their clone rescuers flee through a different direction while Hauser prepares to face the Imperials. And at this moment, I was going, fuck, Hauser's going to open that door and get shot a whole bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe he didn't.
Yeah.
I think we're about to see Crosshair kind of take him back to the Camino. I'm going to get a little bit of a tune-up on some more clones. Clones inhibitor chips.
I don't think Crosshair takes him back. I think Crosshair's
gone for the Bad Batch.
True.
It might be whatever the commander dude, or like Empire dude, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Rampart. He'll probably
Rampart. That's right. Yeah.
Taking him back to turn that shit up. Then
talk about just how good his character looks, like how crisp.
Rampart?
Yeah, like how crisp, like the animation and like the resolution.
Also, just like the animation on everyone is crisp as fuck. How about the lighting?
Yeah,
In this episode in particular, like there's a scene where the Bad Batch are on the ship and Hera is also on the Marauder with them, and they're like, "We'll follow your plan, Hera." Like that part earlier, they're in a shadowed light where on one side of all of them the red lights are shining, on the other side of them the blue lights are shining, like from all the buttons and stuff all over the Marauder, and I was just like, this is fucking crisp and just clean. Like, they are so good at what they do.
I don't know, like, how to describe it. It's like cartoon animation, but so realistic at the same time.
They found
it's
a
like
really weird balance here.
But it's good. It just works. Like, it works.
Like it's obviously animated. But there are shots where you're like, that could be a live action shot.
Like Pixar. Almost. Yeah. It's almost It's Pixar-esque. Yeah.
I get what you're saying for sure, but later on, Hunter updates Tech about their new escape plans, and Tech is relieved since they are being pursued by multiple imps. And meanwhile, Elite Squad is asking Crosshair if they should move in. Crosshair orders them to stay in their position and insists that this is their way out. They don't have another way. And then Hauser exits from the gate and speaks to the clone troopers. He says, "Brothers, I remind you that we came to free Ryloth from separatist control, and we have succeeded." He then tells them, they have been ordered to target the very people they were sworn to protect. What the fuck are we doing here? We then see that he will not be a part of this any longer. He throws down his blaster. He asks if any of them will stand with him. Several of them drop their blasters and shields. And I was at this point where he was like, "Are any of you going to stand with me?" And I was like, and now he's going to get shot a bunch of times. Like, I'm just waiting for him to get shot a bunch of times because I don't think any of these other stormtroopers are going to listen to him. You know what I'm saying? Or clone troopers are going to listen to him. Like, I think they're all like, "Fuck this guy. We're with the Empire." But then they all put down their fucking weapons. And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe the inhibitor chips just simply aren't as effective as we've been led to believe, given their initial impact. Killing a lot of Jedi. But I was like, damn, all right, let's get it then. Watching from above, though, Crosshair orders the Loyalist clones to arrest all these traitors. And just then, the Bad Batch pull out of Senator Taz's stolen shuttle, and Crosshair tries to shoot it down, but he misses, and Hunter watches from above while Crosshair glares. Captain Hauser is arrested and handcuffed, and the traitors are led away. A great fucking scene. I love a clone rising up and being like, "This ain't what we're here for, bruh. Leave us alone, bruh." I love it. I love it. I also like... Oh, go ahead.
No, it was just comforting to see, like, the start of, starting to tilt away, back not just heavily in the Empire's favor. And it interesting coming from, like, a character like this, that you normally would expect just to be, like, a literal just commander following orders, doing just whatever the Empire says, but it is an interesting take on, like, the inhibitor chips, and I hope we get a lot more info on them.
Well, and like this clears up, like, all the speculation surrounding Hauser last week. Like, people were like, okay, there's something clearly different about Hauser. Like, he is not so hopelessly dedicated to the Empire. He is holding on to his loyalties. Like he's with the Syndulas. That's his team right there. And he never really loses sight of that, like ever once even. He was always with it. Always trying to protect Hera at least, like that was always his intention. And I just really hope we don't see him die. I like Hauser a lot.
He's as good as dead.
I mean, maybe it's just because he's been with Ryloth for whatever maybe he's been with him for, I don't know. He's been with him for a while. And the fact that they're with the Empire, he doesn't see, like, the inhibitor chip wouldn't see Ryloth as, an immediate enemy. It sees it as an ally. So it's, there's no reason for the inhibitor chip to inhibit anything at that point. So, like, he can form his own opinions because it's basically just another clone in the Empire, and many of them are like, fuck the Empire, I don't want to be here. So, I don't know.
But after this, we see them back at Ord Mantell. I was like, oh, cool. So the Bad Batch are just like going to bring whoever they save back to their base of operations. That seems safe. The Bad Batch, lands their ship, and Cham Syndulla and the Free Ryloth fighters hop out. Eleni offers to pay the Bad Batch, and Hunter tells them, you keep your money, you'll be needing it. And Hunter adds that these occupations are happening on other worlds, and Cham says that he had hoped to have fought his last war, but that his people need him now more than ever. And Cham says that he needs to organize. Hunter apologizes that he won't be able to help since he has his own people to look out for. And Eleni says that if a war is coming, it will be their fight as much as theirs. That might have been confusing, the whole double there situation there, but you know what it is. Eleni calls for her daughter, Hera, who has learned how to scramble a ship's signature from tech. I'm like, oh, that's cute. You hear that a whole bunch in Rebels. She'd be scrambling that ship's signature all the time. And Eleni is impressed and says that she will have the opportunity to put it to the test. And before leaving, Hera, kneels down in front of Omega. And this is the classic imagery we've gotten every time someone has interacted with Omega. They just kneel down in front of her so that we can get this even footing here.
Yeah, I get that Omega's young, but she just is so fucking short.
She is itty bitty.
Every time
that Hera is that much older than her.
Yeah, every time I forget, and then this scene right here, she kneels down and then she stands up afterwards, and it's standing next to her. I'm like, the fuck is this?
They are on a ramp, so that's part of it. But
still,
it's a pretty substantial difference, regardless. Yeah, Omega's an itty bitty character, and she kneels down. She's like, "Well, co-pilot." I was like, "Oh, that was cute as hell." She's like, "We didn't do too bad." And Omega's like, "Man, fuck, bro. You ain't gotta leave right now, bro. Please, you ain't gotta go nowhere. You're the first friend I've had that's my age since I got off Camino."
Dang.
Since she got off Camino, since she was born.
Since she was born. Facts. I wasn't even thinking about that, but
because any friend she makes her age on Camino is no longer her age a week later.
That's very true. But Hera's like, I'm sure we'll see each other again. And because of that line,
they have to.
I'm
they
sure
never see each other again.
Yep. Because of this line, they will never, ever see each other
Count
again.
your days, Omega.
But, she tells Omega to keep an eye on her brothers. She says, they'll need it. And she gives her a hug and thanks her for believing in her. And Omega watches as she leaves with her parents and Chopper aboard that ship. And back at the damaged refinery, Admiral Rampart speaks with Crosshair. And Rampart admits, okay, I've underestimated your four friends. I know we talked a whole bunch of shit earlier in the season about how they can't be all that, but clearly they are. I wish they were fighting for us instead of against us. And that line in particular, a bit freaky. Obviously, they've gotten their inhibitor chips taken out, but it doesn't necessarily mean they can't put them back in, I don't think, if they were to get their hands on them. That line shows me intention. the hunt them down doesn't mean permission to hunt them down and kill them. Permission to hunt them down and bring them back to Camino for you, bro. I
took it more as I mean, like, bring them back or I took it as like permission to hunt them down, kill most of them, and bring back the important one.
maybe
bringing back Omega and killing the other ones.
Maybe that too, but I don't know. I like the line expressly stating, "I wish they were fighting for us instead of against us." Like that's.
I get that. I took that more of Rampart just being like, "Yeah, you're kind of shit. Like they have outsmarted you at every single turn. Kind of wish they were on our side instead of you."
Well, and what's funny is he's realizing the same thing that any of them would realize if they were alone. They all thrive together.
Yeah.
That's kind of their thing. They like alone they can do to an extent plenty.
Yeah. Alone they are still better than every other clone. But
they
together
really thrive together.
Yeah.
And Crosshair looks at him and he goes, "Permission to hunt them down. Granted." That was the shit, bro. And
that was a good final sip of the coffee. The bass. That was good ending to the episode.
It really was. And so here, when Crosshair looks down, do you feel like he's satisfied? Like, what's the look here?
I think he's just a man on a mission. He's just following orders. Although very personal, he's treating it like it's not. He's trying to keep a cool head.
I would like to note, first appearance for Crosshair without the toothpick. Homie's losing himself. And there's a reason you have him appear with the toothpick in his mouth every single time up until a certain time. He's losing himself a little bit. That's got to be what that means. Like he's losing his personality bit by bit. And, we cut the black, and we're left with this idea of what's to come with these last 4 episodes. We've got titles announced for the next 2. We got Infested for episode 13 and War Mantle for episode 14. So gonna be interesting to see what those hold for us. I am very interested to see what's in store for the Bad Batch, and so what's the deal with War Mantle?
Yeah,
I haven't really expressly asked or thought about how they'll do the transition. Is it because I doubt they're just letting clones leave? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, thinking about that, maybe because you said it was infestation.
Infested.
Maybe infested is like an episode all about like that, like dissension going through all of the ranks of the clones, and then that's what like the episode, like, so, obviously they have to tie it into the Bad Batch somehow, but it's like them like a bunch of clones realizing like, fuck, this isn't what I signed up for, even though I was born a clone and have always been, a war machine, but like this isn't what I want to do. And then maybe War Mantle is then them, a purge of the military of sorts.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking these new soldiers.
It's either a purge or like a reset, like a brainwash.
Well, the only Well,
I'm thinking they're getting like it's you are getting what you did, like Order 66ing on the clones.
Yeah,
Order 67.
Yeah,
Order 69.
Nice. That's how we'll finish the episode. This one was fucking great. Rescue on Ryloth, one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. Obviously, I think this is the last time we see Hera for now. At least for season 1, I think it's safe to say we won't see them again. However, do think we'll be seeing more of Hauser. We'll certainly be seeing more of the Bad Batch and Crosshair and Rampart. And, I like the idea that these next 2 episodes will be more of an arc within within Camino and Rampart to kind of wrap up that storyline. And then the last 2 episodes are Crosshair hunting down the Bad Batch, and that culminated too.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I gotta guess. Like,
If I gotta put money on it, that's a sound theory right there.
I'd say so. But again, fucking great episode written by Jennifer Corbett, Rescue on Ryloth. This was episode 12. It was episode 121 of the Penny Bloom podcast. Any parting thoughts here from Joseph George?
I'm just gonna say I hope by the end of this season, whatever happens with Crosshair, I hope it's him coming back and joining the squad and not with a death and him taking out someone else. I hope it's a +1 instead of a subtraction of any kind.
Well, I think, and here's the thing, is that if there is a subtraction, I think they've done a good job at inserting a clone in which we care about, that we wouldn't care about as much dying as the Bad Batch with Hauser. Good chance. I'd say a pretty good chance Crosshair kills Hauser. Just because. I mean, he hasn't done a whole lot of friendly fire. Maybe that is what does it for him, is actively killing a clone. Like, I don't know. Interesting to think about. Miles Buttress, any parting thoughts here?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Hauser, through the notion of the fact that he's become more likable, but he's still not like a main character, but he's a likable character. I feel like that just means he's as good as dead. And
we felt this way about Miggs Mayfeld.
Will be
about Bill Burr,
but fair. But he is as good as dead. He's gone.
Okay. I mean,
I
suppose as good as dead is the important word.
No, I feel like I agree with you. I think Hauser is going to be like the noble sacrifice that either saves the Bad Batch in some way or is what brings Crosshair back. I'm still on the train of I think Crosshair is not going to directly take one of the Bad Batch out, but I think his comeback arc is going to result in his death, and that he's going to have to sacrifice himself to save the
Star Wars fashion there. That would make a ton of sense. And there is the possibility even that what if this twist with Hauser too is that Crosshair dies for him? It's not even one of his Bad Batch brothers. It's just one of his clone brothers. Like if he were to die for a reg, that would show a very, very clear return of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So I think I mean anything's on the table. I like theorizing. And these last few episodes have given us more material to theorize than I would have thought, given that they've been involving, Ryloth and the Syndulas. I didn't expect to get some major implications with the clone stuff, but here we are. Last time, this was the 121st episode of the Penny Bloom podcast. It was the Bad Batch Bitches. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, buddy.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love to be here, and I'll be back.
I know you will. I know you will. We were also joined by Miles motherfucking Buttress. Thank you very much, homie.
Hey, man, I'd be happy to be back anytime.
Hey, and when I say it this time, no, I mean it. Next week, even?
I'm sure I could find a way to make that work. I'm sure I could.
I'm sure you could, and I look forward to it. Go to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 15 hours of exclusive content. We're going to lay off the Patreon exclusive intros for a little bit. There's a 3-hour Patreon episode up there now. That'll tide you over for a little bit. Well, maybe we'll start that back up next week. Yeah, man, go to Twitter, follow at Penny Bloom Pod, on Instagram at Penny Bloom Podcast. Leave a 5-star rating review on Apple Podcast, and please remember, peace, love, and bloom. And always praise Keanu Reeves.
Beep-a-da-boop-a-deep-a-deep-boo-boo. Deep-a-bop-bop-boop-boo-boo-boo.